You're watching UNICEF Television.
10-year-old Kharir Abdi from Buruma town in northwest Somalia often faces ridicule and insults at school simply because she wasn't circumcised. A few months ago, she was rescued from the razor blades by a group of community facilitators, trained to encourage communities to recognise that female circumcision, or cutting as it's known, is a violation of a girl's rights. Kharir is scared of being circumcised, but the pressure at school and at home is mounting every day, and she says her friends have deserted her. This is a common stigma suffered by many uncircumcised girls in Somalia. The facilitators keep encouraging her to remain strong.
I do not want to be circumcised because of the problems you face afterwards. I do not want any part of my body to be cut.
The woman-to-woman group visits mothers in the region to discuss complications relating to the cutting that they themselves have faced. The women encourage the community to collectively abandon the practice. Today, the group is visiting Fadimo Abdi, a mother of 3 daughters. 2 of her daughters were circumcised, and the women here are trying to convince her to protect her last-born girl.
I have cut 2 of my daughters the Sunni way. This is Najal, my youngest daughter. Since they have told us to stop cutting girls, whether it's Firaun or Sunni, I will not cut her and she will be spared from the problems associated with circumcision.
At Kuljid village, 30 kilometres northwest of Buruma, the woman-to-woman facilitators are holding an education session for schoolgirls. Using diagrams, they show the different types of cutting and how each will affect them later in life. The women also distribute pamphlets to the girls with detailed information about procedures which are usually undertaken when the girls are between 10 and 14. These school sessions are intended to help the girls understand the problems associated with cutting in the hope that they'll abandon the practice in future when they themselves become mothers. However, the girls who have undergone it are already experiencing difficulties.
When a girl is cut, this makes her experience problems like excessive bleeding, difficulty when giving birth, and other health problems. Personally, my kidney pains and I feel pain when urinating.
Female circumcision is one of the acute abuses suffered by children in Somalia. The practice is deeply entrenched in Somali culture, with the belief that it ensures a girl's proper marriage, chastity and family honour. Families also believe it to be a religious obligation. The campaign against cutting in Somalia has brought together religious scholars and leaders to emphasise that religion doesn't support the cutting of body parts.
This practice of cutting and stitching of girls is not a religious belief. Even Prophet Muhammad did not cut his daughters, and nobody practiced it where he lived. Therefore, mothers should be more sensitive and should not think it's a sin if they do not cut their daughters.
The campaign to abandon the practice is reaching remote areas. UNICEF's partner, the African Network for the Prevention and Protection Against Child Abuse and Neglect, has used plays in hospitals and marketplaces to sensitise people on the dangers of the practice and to change the long-held cultural beliefs that sustain it. UNICEF is also working with health workers to target mothers who come for antenatal treatment and care. In the process of treatment, the nurses discuss medical complications associated with cutting. The campaign also targets those who carry out the procedure, explaining the harm it does to girls. However, for many practitioners, it provides a crucial source of income.
When the non-governmental organizations came, they called us for seminars and told us to stop the practice. But I told them this is how we earn our living. We cannot stop. People come and take us up those mountains and in the towns to cut girls. We get paid and we use this money to bring up our children.
The country's leadership supports the campaign against cutting. However, as it's carried out in private homes, it is difficult to monitor. In reality, there's little protection for girls who suffer from these harmful practices. UNICEF and its partners have established local groups to help the communities make an informed and collective choice to abandon it. This is a slow process, but getting the support of the local community is the only way to safeguard the future of the girls. This is Susanna Price reporting for UNICEF Television. For more information, go to unicef.org.
You've been watching UNICEF Television.